I'm Hermione. I've been working at Google for the last 11 years. Yes, I'm a bit younger than I seem. And I've been in the travel industry for the last 9, based here in Singapore. And I am thrilled to be able to chat to you today about what we're seeing in terms of trends and consumer insights, because we have now hit a period of a bright spot for travel in Asia Pacific. From 2019, when we were at peaking, to 2020, where we went to a complete halt, to 2021, where we had the creation of fun things like vaccinated travel lanes. Then we had, moderated travel. We had the revenge traveller. I am so thrilled to say that we have hit a period of sustainability, stability, and growth. And this is for both international and domestic travel. Globally. In fact, we've surpassed interest levels for travel since 2019. Let's give it a big clap for our travel industry. God knows we needed it in those dark, dark days. But the news is even better because the bright spot, the sunshine, it's come to our region. So let's have a look at what's happening regionally. I'm a little biased. I do love Asia Pacific. I'm an Australian, been living here for a while. And I'm pleased to say that in APAC, our recovery is the bright spot in travel in this moderating world where there is inflation and pressure around everything. In fact, APAC, in terms of demand, has surpassed 2019 for international travels by 185% since 2019. That is a heck of a lot of demand. And even better, it's not just international travel, it is also domestic travel that is booming for us at over 52% of 2019 levels in terms of search interest. So you'll see that today's presentation is a shiny one. As the data, not just our data, Focusrite, thank you very much for sharing us, shows us that the sun is going to shine brightly in our region as stability actually equals opportunity. And what we're seeing here is that the forecast that APAC as a region will be bigger in terms of online booking, which is very important for everyone here today, than the US, finally. I've been waiting for this for a while. And this is largely due to the fact that online penetration is tipping in terms of the booking behaviour of consumers in our region. And by 2025, Focusrite is predicting that APAC online penetration for bookings will reach over 63%. But why is this? What's creating this demand and what's creating this opportunity? Well, first of all, APAC has the largest percentage of Gen Zs and an online digital-only population in the world. We also have the most headroom in terms of GDPs. If we take a step back and have a look at household income, what we see in APAC is that markets like India, China, Thailand have an incredible amount of headroom as it pertains to disposable income to spend and travel. And that is really heating up our region. Of course, we've been saying this for years, but mobile is incredibly important, and never more so than today, with mobile app penetration being the highest in the world, 72% globally. And finally, APAC travellers love to travel. We have the highest amount of international travel in the world, which is keeping the market growing and sustainable. So that's the macro trends, but let's have a look at where the travel demand is coming from and what lies ahead. First of all, we see that as source markets, APAC is now making up a quarter of the total demand, with markets such as India and Japan really booming. Speaking of India, what we see now is it is a growth engine for outbound travel. And in fact, outbound travel has grown by 72% since 2019. Japan, it's a domestic powerhouse. It always has been. But pre-pandemic, it was the 5th largest domestic mark globally. It has shot up to the 3rd largest domestic mark globally. And demand for travel has increased by nearly 80% since 2019. Of course, top cities like Tokyo, Osaka still remain, but you are seeing the rise of new cities in terms of interest and volume. China. Everyone wants a piece of the action in China, and it's understandable why. In fact, the Chinese traveller had the highest savings in household incomes out of any other nation during the pandemic. So they are ripe for the picking and very keen to stay. The thing is that the travel demand has been stagnated out of China due to flight operations. It was forecasted that China would be fully opened at 100% of airline occupancy by the end of this year, but it's at 51%. Personally, I think this is a good thing because it allows the industry time to catch up and make way for these very excitable Chinese tourists. And we're predicting that by the end of 2024, the China aircraft capacity will be back to 2019. So be prepared, it's going to be a big one for the Chinese tourists. So what does travel mean? Today we're launching our new Ipsos research that we ran across APAC this year, and I'm going to share some insights, and then I'm also going to share with you a QR code at the end so you can download the research in full form. The first thing that we're seeing in terms of the APAC traveller, which is not a surprise to anyone, but it's a highly personalised experience. And there's a myriad of emotions that drive, and rationals that drive travellers to travel. Everything from adventure to stress relief and disconnecting. But what we see is that that people are more likely to travel than ever before, as travel is the new luxury. Humans are desperate to connect with each other. And if you think about it and reflect on your own memory box, it's either major birthdays, funerals, life milestones, or travel moments that flood your memory box. And that's what people are craving for, an experience. And that's why in a world where inflation and pressure on jobs, people are going to deprioritise simple things like restaurants, gym memberships, in order to prioritise travel above everything else. It is priceless, and it's something that the world wants to keep on doing, no matter what. And what we've seen from our Ipsos data is that people who travel are 2 times, in the last 12 months, are 2 times more likely than a person who is not travelling to book travel again and want to travel again. And that's really important for the brands here today to realise, as that experience that you're giving that traveller, that consumer, is incredibly important to get right, because they're more than likely to want to travel again, and if you've done it well, they'll book with you again. Now, we know the journey is fraught. We know that the journey between dream, plan, book, organise and go, because of digital capabilities and access to information, is more complicated than ever. So let's go through each of these phases and see what each traveller is desiring. First of all, we see that in the dream and plan stage, there is a large amount of uncertainty, what we're calling the confidence gap, due to the greater choice that consumers have in terms of online platforms to book with, destinations to access, and information. In fact, the Chinese traveller felt that 80% of them needed to be very confident in having the best decision before they made the booking, which means they spent a ton of time in the plan and research phase to get it right. In the book and organise phase, what we saw was that price is the new loyalty, and price is really the number one, and cost, the number one consideration when the traveller goes to make that booking decision. In fact, 52% of APAC travellers decided on a different destination airline or accommodation during their planning trip. They switched based on price. So you want to make sure that you are very competitive when you're communicating with your customers, and that price is front and center of what you're sharing with them. Once they're on the go, once they've chosen you, consumers want personalization. It shouldn't come as a big surprise, given that there's so many millennials out there now. But more interestingly, is that they're willing to pay more, which is almost counterintuitive to the other slide, once they're on the go for a personalised experience. If they give you their first-party data, they go through the trouble of ticking that box or filling out their pre-arrival forms, you better use it. Otherwise, they'll be cross and they'll tell their friends all about it. If you've asked for it, then you need to do something with it. So, now that you know what the traveller in APAC cares about, what can you do to try and find them? In short, it's easy-ish. They're online, so we know where they are. They're online all the time. In fact, the average APAC consumer spends anywhere between 7 and 9 hours on the internet a day. That's versus the US, which is around 7 hours. But APAC has 6 out of the top 20 countries for online time spent. It's also a really complicated journey now. What we're seeing is that during the research, planning and booking phase, consumers will touch around 140 touch points and probably engage with 20 different types of platforms. So it's really important that when you're thinking about your strategy, you think about an always-on one, a moments-driven one, and not just leave it to the last minute, the booking phase, to communicate with your audience. There are key touch points, though, that play an outsized role in the consumer's research and booking journey, such as maps, video, and reviews and accommodation sites that consumers really trust. And video really plays that outsized role, because video is a linear platform. Once you create content for one video platform, you can scale it to all. And it's also one of the trusted platforms, video content, because it's authentic. And the consumer can quickly see what is fake and what is real. And that is what they're looking for. If they're going to save and deprioritize a number of fun things to travel and have an amazing experience, they want to ensure that where they book and what they get from their booking is what they expect. Authenticity is everything. And YouTube has come up in our survey that has been done with Ipsos, a third party, as the #1 source for travel in terms of inspiration. Of course, other platforms such as Instagram, I said it, TikTok, they all play a pivotal role. That's why you need to be scaling your content. Okay, I had to talk to AI for a moment because you guys might have fallen asleep. Everyone's talked about AI for all through the last 2 days. AI is more essential than ever now for travel brands because it can help you speed up your go-to-market strategy. As you've heard from Omri, it can help your productivity, and it can also help you deploy campaigns and marketing much more quickly. As it pertains to what Google is offering in terms of an AI perspective, we have many different products such as Performance Max, hotel ads, which I know many of you are using, and different types of creative outlets on YouTube to help you market more efficiently and seamlessly. But my favourite is what we're doing around Bard. Yes, we also have something competing with ChatGPT. But we just launched the Bard extensions, and I've already used it, and it's fantastic. Bard extensions allows you to show relevant information in your Google tools, your multiple tabs, to enable you to cut through the complexity and bring a trip, for example, to life in one single space, surfacing your flights informations, your hotels, and also suggesting itineraries across the travel journey. Now, you do need to have Chrome to experience Bard, but if you want to play around with this nifty AI tool, that's how you do it. So, in summary, APAC is a bright spot. There is a huge amount of opportunity in the next 3 to 5 years. So make sure you're investing in this region and the consumer here. Focused on big markets like India, China, and of course, Thailand. Travellers do have a confidence gap. And they have a stronger desire than ever to be informed and have personalisation. So make sure you are delivering them a message that they are after. And be where they are. Online, speak their language via personalisation and video.
Meet the children.
And be innovative. Thank you very much. There's a QR code to download the research.